Hello everyone, today I will show you how to set up Visual Studio Code to develop with Unity. We will go step by step and add some of my favorite extensions in Visual Studio Code as well. So let's get to it.
Let's install Unity. I'm going to the Unity page, unity.com, download for Windows in my case. It's downloading. I'll keep this and I'll install. I agree, and I want to install this. Yeah, that's okay. Of course, I need to sign in. So if you haven't already, you have to create an account. So you also can essentially get a free license, a personal license. I think see other Unity plans. That's Unity Pro. We don't want that, but where are the other ones? They're not showing them here. Compare plans, maybe access denied. Ouch. Okay, so in any case, there's a personal license and there's a professional one. Probably multiple professional and enterprise solutions. So you can just register and you can get your personal license. So I've done that. Got it. This is my hub, install Unity editor. I don't want to do that here right now because I want to potentially choose myself, even though this is probably a good version. We will probably end up doing the same, but I just want to skip that for now because potentially there's something I want to customize and so on. Yes, I agree with the personal license. I don't want to try that. Alright, so of course I don't have projects, there's no installs yet, so I have to install an editor, right? So as I said, I'll probably install exactly what it was already suggesting. It's recommending this version, that's completely fine. I want to install that. I don't want to have Microsoft Visual Studio Community. You can install that if you want, but I switched to Visual Studio Code, which is much more lightweight, and I'm also developing Python code there, so it's kind of easier to switch between those two IDEs. So Android build, I don't need that. iOS build, these are things that we can add later as well. Maybe we want to have the WebGL, for example, or Windows build support or whatever. But for now, I'm just gonna go without any of those supports. Yes, so I will install that as it is. And probably wait here for a moment. Alright, this seems to be complete. Cool. Theory, you can create a new project with that editor now, and so on and so forth. Alright, next up we will install Visual Studio Code as our IDE. So we're going here and we are downloading for Windows in my case, and we'll keep that. Installing. I'm accepting this. This is where I want to install this stuff. Yep. I just want to keep it like that. And we can launch it. That's pretty much that. I will now set up some basics in Visual Studio Code. Generally, over here, there are the extensions. So I guess I have a couple of favorites. Generally, maybe we can start with that even, but I mean, that's just really personal preference. What I like is, actually I like the Dracula, but I recently found a very cool new one, which is called Ayu. Ayu Mirage to be exact. So it's this one. I'll just install that. Okay, very, very important. So what I think is very important indeed is the Git Graph. I'll install that, as well as so you can visualize a bit better if you're working with GitHub and so on. What else do I usually have is live share. I will be installing so you can collaborate on your code. And what I also really like is the material icon theme. So you have really nice little icons next to your file names. Alright, then I also think Prettier is something very nice to help with prettifying, let's say, your code. Installing that. I also like rainbow brackets. I saw that this version sort of got an update, so maybe this is rainbow brackets 2.0. I guess I'll install that, so you know exactly like where you are in terms of your brackets, or your brackets will help you to with color to navigate in nested kind of loops and so on. Then I guess last but not quite least is this to-do tool with the tree, so you can add to-do tags in your code and they show up in a list which they are sorted in. Okay, and next would be GitLense. Here we are installing that. All right, very nice. So I want to show you two more things, and that is under preferences, settings. First of all, that would be a formatter. And so basically format on save. That is very handy, I think. Each time you're saving your script, it's formatted. There's no default formatter currently, so I suggest to specifically change that for Python and C#, for example. So we can set it for Python formatting, and here it is set to black. Yeah, that's correct. Provider, I think it's called Python formatting. This should be black. So for example, right? Okay. And the other thing is a setting where you can change what you are actually seeing on the bottom of your file. You can change what is written here. So if you have multiple folders open, for example, it's basically super unreadable. So what I really like to do is I would basically use the folder name, as well as you can write here like that. The remote name, like so. All right, cool. So I can save that and close it. Great. So next up would be the Unity setup for Visual Studio Code. And so there is actually a very nice little guide, Unity VS Code by Microsoft, which I will link in the description below. And essentially we have to go through this list of things here. All right, so let's begin by installing the Net SDK here. I'm not sure if I actually can use 7.0 or if it later will tell me to get another one. I guess let's just try that. Alright, so let's install this. Alright, cool. So next up would be log out and restart Windows to allow changes to path. Alright. Mac OS I'm not concerned about. Install the C# extension in VS Code. Yep, I can do that. Because I can just click continue and go here automatically, and it will install it. Alright, so what's next? In the VS Code setting editor, Control plus, go to the settings and look for Omnisharp. Okay, I'm happy to do that. So, preferences, settings, Omnisharp, scrolling down, and then it was something like, where is it? Use modern net. I think that's what we want to uncheck. Let's double check this in this VS Code setting, uncheck the C# extensions, Omnisharp, use modern net, and we have to uncheck it. Okay, that's what I just did. Okay, close that. All right, so then what else do we need? Build tools for Visual Studio 2022. Microsoft build tools too, so they must be installed manually. Okay. Build tools for Visual Studio. Download. Keeping. Installing them. Okay. Continue. And okay, and then in here I want to install the .NET desktop build tools, as it says here. All right, that's that. I think I can close that. So we've installed that, and then we want to set up VS Code as the Unity script editor. Therefore, we have to in Unity. So I'm going to Unity Hub. All right. So in Unity Hub, I will create a new project. Just gonna call that test. Create project. Okay, so I suppose we have to go to the external tools setting, and I believe that would be here under preferences, external tools, and then here we have Visual Studio Code. Do we have to set anything else? Let's check. We have to change it. Okay, that should be good. Okay, what else do we need? So let's check if we have the Visual Studio Code editor package. VS Code, let's check that out. Package manager. Code, Visual Studio Code Editor. I believe those are the ones that we need here. Visual Studio Code Editor package, I think that's what we have. All right, so that should be good. Enabling code completion. I think that we can do that. IntelliSense, I think that would be something quite important. So let's install this package here. Let's do that. Installing this. Okay, successful. And then Mac we don't have. Steps. Stop VS Code or Unity running. Okay, start Unity, create an existing script in VS Code. Cool. Enabling Unity warnings, I'm not gonna go through because this is project specific. I have to go through all of these steps. As far as I understand it, every time I'm creating a project, I'm not interested in that for now, but I will restart my computer now and I will see you in a moment. Alright, so I just opened my test project again, and now I'll just create an empty with a script. Okay, and of course I want to open that, and if everything worked, yes, just the author, it's me. This is where we're at. Let's see what's going on here. This is looking okay. So the question is now, of course, do we have some sort of a code completion, right? So I guess like there's a function that is called fixed update. There was something coming for sure, but I don't know if that's what we want. So let's say we are adding a variable here. What would it say if I then do this dot my variable? All right, it is here. I can assign something. The question is now just, do I have the mono behavior kind of class with me, right? So I can say something like private void fixed update. I don't think it gets that. but it should still be fine. Yeah, I think I'm fine. Is there anything other, maybe Unity specific? Maybe we can try to, we have the vectors, that's cool. We have a game object, of course. Yeah, I think this looks good. All right, very cool. So this is working. In theory, code is compiling. The field variable is assigned, but its value is never used. Yes, that is correct. All right, so then that is that. Cool, great.